Hey everybody, back at you with another movie review. This time I am doing Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Um, I like to call it Beginning of the End because Part 1 through 4 for me is classic Jason. Um, and at the end of Part 4, you see Corey Feldman um, or Tommy Jarvis get that blank stare at the end of it. So when I press play on this, and I see Corey Feldman walk down the woods, in the rain, in the raincoat, I thought this would be great. I was like, oh, thank God they brought Corey Feldman back. But there was always something different about him in this one. At first glance, he was definitely not the little kid he was in Part 4. They popped on some huge glasses, and so I thought that was a little odd too. But so anyway, he's walking down the woods, and he sees two guys digging up Jason's grave. They see his body, and then he stabs both of those guys, and then Jason walks towards Tommy, and you think he's going to get killed, and you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? And right before he kills him, you see an adult, or I should say a 17-year-old Tommy Jarvis. He wakes up from it. It's a dream. He's being taken away from the mental institution, going into a halfway house. And this time, he's played by John Shepherd. And to his credit, although he doesn't say that many lines, on the top of my head, I don't have the exact amount, but I mean, it's just a handful of lines in this movie. But it's believable that Tommy is messed up in the head. So he's taken into the halfway house, and unlike the other movies up to this point, these characters really aren't memorable. There's just a few people in here that really are either just totally funny, so it's just worth watching them, and that includes Ethel and Junior. Pam, the lead female in this, is really good. So she's she does a great job on this. But other than that, I mean, I do give John Shepherd as Tommy credit in this one a little bit. They didn't write him any lines, so he had to act through not saying anything. And so what happens is, you're kind of you're introduced to these characters a little bit. They didn't go too much in detail at all. I mean, you'll notice that right off the bat. They don't go into detail. They don't explain everything. But you do see a kid named Joey. He's pretty annoying, honestly, in this. And we all see that. I mean, it's very annoying. We all wouldn't want to be around him. So what happens is they're out in the backyard. You see two girls doing laundry, and you see a guy named Vic chopping wood. You don't know the reason why these people are in the halfway house. You do know, the reason why Tommy is, and I believe that they're in this halfway house after the fact that they're trying to get back into society again. So this is like the last hope. They go into this halfway house and then live there up until they feel that they're able to live on their own. So this Joey guy comes up to this Vic guy, offering him a candy bar. And Vic is obviously upset at something. He's so mad, and he's, swinging that axe away, yelling at him. And, of course, Joey being Joey, is upset and, tells him forget it. He turns his back on him for 1 second, and Vic throws an axe in him. So when I first saw this, I actually thought that Vic would have been the fake Jason. After I found out that it was a fake Jason. At this point, though, I'd hoped that there would be a real Jason, honestly, because you did see him in the beginning, right? So, so again, you see Vic get taken away inside the ambulance. Oh, I'm sorry, not the ambulance, but the cop car. And then when the two ambulance drivers come over there to pick up the dead body of Joey, you do meet Roy. Roy doesn't say much. He does a lot of the facial expressions, to notice that he is not comfortable picking up this body. And you just don't know why. You're like, okay, I'm sure they've seen a couple dead bodies, and this one was pretty gruesome, so props to the special effects folks that did this, because this was pretty gruesome death right here. So in Roy's eye, you see he's very upset, so every so often, and then from here on, you'll see a death here and there, and most of it just doesn't make sense, honestly, of why. And I'll go into the detail in just a second. But then you'll also see Tommy here and there, kind of staring off out the window, or just staring. Doesn't say anything at all. So then you'll notice that he has little flashbacks of Jason, the real Jason, because you'll notice his mask is there. It's bloody. He's got the red chevrons. But other parts of the movie, you see what you think is Jason, but he's got another mask on, the blue chevrons. I'm sure they did this to just show you that, hey, it's not Jason. This is the other person, and that's when you really find out, okay, it's somebody else. But who is it? That's what, at this point, you want to believe it's Tommy. That was the idea, right? After part 4, they wanted Corey Feldman to take over for Jason. He's just messed up in the head. Who wouldn't after, the events of what he had been through all this? And it's been about, I think, 5 years after the events of part 4. So, and then, like I said, there's just some random characters in here that just doesn't make sense. The two 1950s greasers just show up out of nowhere. I think they were off to go meet some girls and go party or something like that. But I'm just like, what are they doing? Are they going to like a doo-wop or a sock hop or something? This is 1985 here, when this movie came out. What the heck are they wearing leather? It's just so awkward, and that's their characters were made up because they just needed to kill. In fact, that's what the Danny Steinman, which is the director of this, he said. They were told that they needed a death every so often, that, whatever it takes to get a kill, and there you go. You throw in 2 greasers, and they're dead. And speaking of Danny Steinman, this is the first movie that it's just, I don't like the fact that they would put a ex-porn director and put him inside of the Jason franchise. They're supposed to be reinventing the series at this point, and do you think this is the right way to do it? No, I don't. Not at all. Most of it is disgusting, and according to the director, he wanted more of the porn side of it than the real what Friday the 13th was meant to be, and I just think that's totally wrong. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that, because it's just, in my opinion, it was the wrong direction to go. At this point, Jason, we loved Jason. That's it. We loved Jason. We wanted him to be the killer, So basically, I'm not going to go too much into more detail about this. At the end of it, you see Jason fall down off a barn, hit some spikes. He's gone. He's dead. And then his mask is flown off, and that's when you notice, man, it was Roy. Just not sure about that still. And then later on, they find out that Roy was the father of Joey who got killed earlier. So it makes sense that he'd be upset, but the one person that killed his son, which was Vic, lived. We don't see him again, of course, but he goes to prison or jail. He probably will spend the rest of his life there, but he just, for no reason, goes off and kills some people. Let me see what else I can say about this movie. Do I recommend it? Not really. I don't. I mean, if you're gonna show a Friday the 13th movie to somebody, especially somebody that hasn't seen any of the Friday the 13th, don't start with this one. Do not. Or if you do, I'd give them a heads up, honestly. So out of 5 Jason masks, I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 5. Do I watch it? I'll watch it once in a while. Overall, the kills weren't creative. They were cut short. There was not much blood. It just was fake looking. So, yeah, 1 out of 5 Jason masks. At this point, after this, it's like, I kind of want to give up on Jason series. But next, we have Jason Lives, and thank God. So, tune in next time. I will be reviewing part 6. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for viewing.